Welcome back to Outnumbered. Well, Boston is breaking records with a whopping 108.6 inches of snow this winter. That's a lot of snow. Lots of school cancellations forcing at least one district in the suburb of Easton to push back the last day of classes to late June. And now the school committee is coming up with a contingency plan for next year. In a unanimous vote, it decided to take 3 religious holidays off the school calendar, including the Jewish holidays of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur and the Christian holiday of Good Friday. Parents and kids, they're pretty upset.
I believe in keeping the holidays for the Jewish and as well as the Catholics, everything that we've built this great nation on.
My children wouldn't be going to school on, I'm Jewish, and so we celebrate the high holidays.
I'd probably be pretty mad and sad.
Rachel, this is crazy to me, but I always tell parents, if you don't like something, speak up, because parents have the capacity to really shape school policy. Do you think something like this will stick, or parent feedback is going to say, hold on a second, this is not going to fly with us?
Well, it depends. I mean, I think parent feedback is always really good. I have been to schools where they actually did have kids go to school on Holy Thursday and Good Friday. My kids go to Catholic school, but there was one goes to public school. I take them out those days anyway. Right. And so maybe if enough parents keep their kids home on those days, because to make a statement, they'll just go, you know what, this is not working. But I mean, these are religious holidays. I agree with that parent that just said that.
Yeah.
I think they're using the snow day as an excuse, and they're kind of testing it out. And in the end, I think they're going to see if they can start removing. I mean, listen, we don't even have Christmas concerts in public schools. They're called winter holiday concerts, and this is the trend we're on, and parents have to make the difference.
Why not just, Representative Duffy, start school a little earlier in the summer? Give 3 additional days, in that summer vacation, and take that out and avoid angering this religious group or that religious group, and let everyone have the religious holiday.
Because, Jedediah, that makes too much sense. Don't let any good crisis go to waste. And if you want to take religion out of the public square, look at Boston, look at all the snow, and say, what a great reason now we can take these religious holidays out of our school system. It's using the crisis to the liberal benefit.
How do you feel about this, Harris, as a mom?
It's so interesting. You and I just shared a knowing look together. What you're saying is, why don't they start it earlier? My parents are down in Texas, and they start kids in school in August. I don't think there is a hotter place than Texas in August, right? So you can't use the weather as an excuse for not scooting up that calendar and maybe cutting summer a little bit shorter. But one of the other things, too, with this is, and you talk about parents getting involved, and I don't know what this says about what New Jersey thinks about the president, but our calendar was shortened, but they took a chunk out of President's Week instead of a religious holiday. So you have other options on the calendar, even if you don't start earlier in August. You can shorten some of those other breaks without disturbing a religious holiday. I don't know if it's ignorance or insensitivity, but those parents should speak up and make somebody smarter and sensitive.
I'll bet you it's a lot of teachers and administrators, though, Andrea, that also don't want their summer vacation interrupted. Because once you start the school year, it's like you're in it, you're in that whole school academic environment. But the summer, they want that protected. They plan their vacations ahead of time. I bet you that plays a role in it as well.
I think perhaps, but I think the congressman hit the nail on the head. I mean, this is what happens when liberal academic Boston meets ethnic Boston. And I would love to be a fly on the wall at that parent-teacher meeting, listening to them go off about this, because I heard Harris before we did this segment, who's married to a Jewish man, say, I can't believe it. These are some of the highest holidays in the Jewish faith. And so it makes sense that they would, as you propose, Harris, take away from President's Day, or go a little earlier in the summer, or maybe even a Saturday. I think we had to go a couple Saturdays when there was a lot of snow in Pennsylvania growing up. There's other options, but they don't want those options. They would rather take away the religious holidays.
And by the way, New Year's Eve is not a religious holiday. So if they wanted to shorten even that up, now again, it may disturb a vacation. But if that's the option, then you don't have to touch a religious holiday.
Or my birthday. Or my birthday.
Birthday dance.
It is a holiday in my house.
Oh, that's so good. I even dance for her birthday. Well, this caught our eye in what was a very busy weekend in New Hampshire ahead of 2016. While he has not formally announced a White House run, Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker says his 2 college-age sons, Matt and Alex, will take time off from college in the fall to campaign with him across America. And they're not the first kids to do this. Back in 2008, John Edwards' daughter, Kate Edwards, carved out time from her busy law school schedule to stump for Dad. All right, we've got parents of 7 kids on the trail, and you guys have been on your own trail, or I should say the couch, of your own. I think we've got pictures of you guys on the campaign trail with your family.
Yeah, we take the kids on the trail.
So what do you think?
What does this mean? Is Scott Walker going to run for president or not?
Oh, that's what you guys
So listen, I think this is great. We have our kids in the campaign trail. It's amazing what they learn as they travel around, at least Wisconsin. But to travel around the country for Alex and Matt to be part of that campaign, you can't get that experience in college. And also, what a great tool to reach out to the millennials that you need to win elections. And these kids, now what, 19 and 20 years old, can do just that.
And there's the Duffy family.
We're actually campaigning with Scott Walker.
That's a Scott Walker bus behind.
That's Scott's bus right behind.
You know what? Scott doesn't even need a campaign team. He just needs the Campos Duffy kids.
That's Walker with our kids.
That's our little son, John Paul, there.
He thought Scott's tie was crooked, so he was there straightening it up. But,
would you do this with your kids, Rachel? Would you take them out of college to put them on the, or maybe delay their college education to put them on the campaign trail?
Absolutely. There's nothing they're going to learn in a classroom that's going to be more than what they're going to learn on a campaign trail. I happen to be a military brat. My parents used to take us out of school. We lived overseas a lot. They took us out of school all the time to travel and visit places. Sean and I, sometimes we disagree on this a lot because in his house, they were like every...
I went to Hayward High School. The whole thing, K-12.
So, and I sometimes say, you know, this is a great experience, and when it comes to politics, we, especially around election times, we will pull them out to come with us. We do a little bus tour through our district, bring the kids along. You just can't put a dollar sign on that.
But your dad's running for president. And what a great experience to be on the road, traveling with him, making the argument to the American people. That's exciting.
I want to kind of go and play the flip side of this with you, Jedediah, because you've been an academic. In high school. Right? So you've seen these kids. So the other argument might be, you know, education has come up as a topic with Scott Walker and his own education. And would he make a different choice about college for his sons than himself? And so people may be critical about this.
I think some would be, but I think anyone with common sense would know that real life experience, it's like doing an internship, right? I encourage kids when I've taught college, get out of the classroom, because anything that you learn in the classroom when you're reading it, that doesn't really get brought to life until you go in a setting, in a business, whatever it is that you're passionate about, and you actually see those ideas put into practice. So if the kids want to do it, if they're passionate about politics, there's no better way to learn. And the critics, you know what? Any critic that is going to have a problem with Scott Walker for having practical, real life experience over classroom experience, those are academics, and he's not going to get there.
And other campaigns have done it, right? The Clintons, the Romneys.
Have done it, the Romneys. But here's the other part that people aren't getting. When you run for office, especially president, you don't get to see your family. So this is a way for him to have his family close.
That's a great point, too.
During this thing. Believe me, that is the hardest part about this job, is when you don't see your family and your kids. And this is a great way for them to bond and get together.
You know, I don't want to miss a moment here, a chance to find out, maybe pull back the veil. How do you balance it all then behind the scenes and make it work for the whole family?
It's hard.
So it is hard because we're in session usually every week, and so I spend 4 days and 3 nights every week away from home. It's hard to complain about that when you have military men and women who go and serve and leave for a whole year. But we take the kids along with us. They're on the campaign trail. I do dairy breakfast, parades, and fairs, and the kids come and participate.
They rollerblade in the parades and pass out.
My kids think studying along the way.
My kids think parades are for passing out lit. They don't know that people actually go to parades to enjoy that.
We went to Disney, and we had actually got to sit on the side of the Disney parade and actually watch the parade. They were really miffed by that we were actually watching the parade and not in the Disney parade when we went down to Disney World.
By the way, I've only met one of your little ones, and you have no better surrogate than that precious little baby of yours, let me tell you.
Margarita.
She is just a love.
All right. We'll come back to the couch in a moment, but I don't know if you saw it. It was breaking news on Fox Report last night and all weekend long. A cold case turning red hot thanks to a TV documentary. And now the wealthy real estate heir Robert Durst is in police custody after being linked to 2 killings and his wife's disappearance. We'll have the very latest on that. And Indiana may become the first state to adopt so-called baby boxes as part of its safe haven law. But many people are questioning whether the proposal does more harm than good. Stay with us.